Good afternoon, people. Here we are. Welcome to another project at the BVT workshop. Bit of a mess. Just been on with all sorts of stuff at the moment, but hey ho, it is what it is. So, I'll introduce you to this one. Some of you may know, some of you may not, but that is a wheel-horse 3-speed transmission. And what we're building is a wheel-horse garden tractor based tractor puller. This is for a little bit of a mess about. It's not for entering competition or anything, but it's just something I've decided to have a go at since I've got some wheel-horse bits and some things knocking about. So what we've done first of all is we've got this 3-speed transmission here. As you can see, it's got the band brake there, pulley input, B-section belt input drive. It's got these little 5-stud hubs on. These are coming off. I've got these ones here. I know they are 6-stud at the moment, but they aren't going to be. They're going to be 4-stud. But you can see they've got plenty of meat about them, and they're made out of steel rather than these little cast ones. So they're going to be getting welded up and re-drilled to 4-stud. Reason for it being, we've got some 4-stud alloy quad wheels there, deep dish, which are going to be fit on. They're 27-inch tall, 12-inch wide, 12-inch rims. They're going to be going on the back. Now what I've done with the chassis is originally, if you're familiar with wheel-horse chassis, this would be your top chassis rail. This is an original wheel-horse part here, which is 4-bolt mounted onto the gearbox. Cut the chassis there, and we've put a new chassis rail lower down, which is attached to the old chassis, which carries on forwards there. There's an extension in there of 30 inches. Bit of cross bracing in here, make it nice and stiff. And we're going to have some more braces going from these 4 bolts here, which are going to come on a plate on the top, mounted on the 2 bolts on the gearbox, and then down to the back to the drawbar. And we're going to incorporate some wheelie bars here somewhere. So as you can see, this is a 30-inch extension here. Some people may say, why have you extended it 30 inches? And why have you got these things welded on the sides here? Why are they there? Well, I'll answer that question for you quite simply. It's having 4 engines on this. They're not going to be big engines. They're just going to be, you know, a bit of something for a bit of fun. We're having Honda GX160s. There are 4 of them fitted. They're roughly 6.5 to 7 horsepower each. So I've got, there's 2. There's another one buried down there somewhere. There's another one outside. Now, problem I've got, some of you may know, this one's off a generator. So it's got the tapered shaft, whereas we're after this one, which is a 3/4 inch with the, I think it's a, I can't remember now what size keyway it is, but anyway, that's what we want. So I'm going to order a new crankshaft for this one. You can get them on good old Flea Bay for £30. Now I know they're not going to be the most quality, genuine Japanese quality, but they'll be good enough for what we're going to do with this. So we're going to have 4 engines mounted on here. Now some people say, Shane, how are you going to connect 4 engines to 1 belt drive back axle? Well, it's quite simple really. It's not rocket science. But what we're going to do, I will show you in a basic way. So we're going to have 1 engine. This is just, obviously this is going to be times 2. So there's 1 engine there, crankshaft facing inwards. And then I'm going to get the other question of, well, hang on a minute, your left engines and your right engines are going to be turning different rotations. Again, I will answer this problem. So we'll get us another engine, plonk this on there, roughly where it's going to be. As you can see, we've got 2 engines. Now both crankshafts facing inwards. As you can see, crankshafts are slightly staggered. That's not a problem. We're going to have the same on the next row. So we're going to have, that's what they're going to look like from above. I'm going to do away with the standard mufflers and have a bit of a straight up pipe. So obviously one engine is going to be turning clockwise and the other engine is going to be turning counterclockwise. to our belt drive. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the front engines are both going to be mounted with a centrifugal clutch. These are going to come standard centrifugal belt pulley clutch A section drive. They're going to be on the front two. Back two are going to have double V-belt pulleys. So one belt is going to link to the front one, same on this shaft to that front one. So then we're going to have one belt from the other double pulley down to this lay shaft, which is a nice piece of 25mm steel shaft, keyword at 8mm, on 2 pillar block 25mm bearings. We're going to have 2 pulleys mounted in there, belt drive going forward to first engines, belt drive going forward to next engines. These 2 belts are going to be fixed tension. They're going to be under spring tensioners, so they're going to be tight all the time. There will not be a clutch belt. Then we're going to have a pulley on here with a belt drive B section down to the gearbox, which is going to be a detensioned clutch belt B section. So next question is, Shane, how do you start 4 engines that are all locked together by belts? Simple answer yet again. The front 2, if you remember, are going to be mounted with centrifugal clutches. So these 2 engines will be able to be pull started and run on tick over and not turn the second engines while they're on low revs. Another reason for this is they'll tick over a lot better. So we'll leave the governors in these engines, we'll set the throttle stops on low idle, set them up with a tachometer so they're all ticking over the same. Then we'll put them up onto full speed, again with the set screw adjustable, set the tachometer all the same, governors still in. So in theory, when they're all opened up to full revs, they should all rev the same and run the same on the governors. So obviously we've got, like I said, centrifugal clutch. So what we're going to do, well, the plan is, and I'm pretty sure it'll work, we're going to run the belts down to the second set of engines. These are going to be permanently tensioned. We can already said we can start up this engine and that engine, leave them ticking over, pick up the revs, clutches come in, start up the back engines. So I'll have to start these 2, rev it up, should start up the second 2 in theory. Then obviously we've got drive running all the time from the second 2 to the lay shaft. Then when we pick up the revs, the front 2 will come in and assist the back 2. That is the plan. So when it's on tick over low revs, it'll just be driving, pottering round on the back 2 engines. When the revs increase, we've got 4 engines worth of power. So obviously these are 6.5, 7 horsepower, give or take, somewhere in that sort of ballpark. So we've got 7, 14 times 2 is, by my reckoning, 28 horsepower. So these standard runs somewhere in realms of, I think the bigger ones are about 16 horsepower. So we've got considerably more power than normal. That's going to be going through this back end. It is a 3-speed, it's not a 6-speed. As far as I know, the 3 speeds are a stronger gearbox, so it should be fine. We're not on super grippy tyres, they're fairly bold, so that should be good. Front axle. So what we're going to do is, obviously because we've lowered the chassis rail height, and we're going to have higher back tyres on, so it's going to sit up a bit at the back, but the chassis is lower to compensate it. We're going back on with the wheel arse front axle onto the original mountings as per normal. Steering column is going to be the original wheel arse one, which is down there somewhere, which is going to go through. It's going to come out about here, going upwards. Mud guards, hopefully, like a bit of a weld out, sit in between the tyres rather than sit on top of them like you would on a normal one. And we're having these kart wet tyres, which are 5-inch rims, grabbing them on the front. We've got some nice rims to go on them, which are them ones, solid polished aluminium. It's a little pretty bobby dazzler. I have got some new kingpins, which I need to cut and modify to fit onto the original kingpins of the wheel arse, which will then go onto them wheels, which will all work out quite well, I think. So anyway, if you haven't done already, don't forget, subscribe, like, ring the bell, or you're going to miss further updates on this one. And I think there should be quite a few people interested in this, because it's pretty crazy, pretty oddball, and let's be fair, everybody likes something different, don't they? So a bit of a project for us to get on with, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you get to see the rest of it. Don't miss out. See you later on, guys.